Okay, this is to show you how to remove the power switch on the boat. This is not a new model boat, but it has the same mechanism. So you start like this, essentially, or let me take it off and I'll explain to you how it works. So you basically take a sharp, small, flat screwdriver and just poke around the edge of the compound that's inside of the guard, and just basically break it off so that you can remove the guard. So the guard becomes loose like that, and then pull that off. All right, you'll see if you look inside of there that we had some glue or sealant on there, which basically bonded the top part of this boot onto the deck of the boat. The reason being is that the way this switch is made, it's got this plastic ring that pulls down on the boot, but essentially it's open just there. It's basically a plastic ring that goes over the boot, and the manufacturers say it's waterproof. Well, we found it to be not so. So what we do is we basically fill from there all over here, down there onto the deck of the boat, and then use this circular plastic pipe to bond the whole thing together and basically seal it onto the boat and seal the switch at the same time. Anyway, the important part is you remove that and then we take the boot off. Okay, so using a gas pump plier, keep it flush with the deck. Just grab the plastic, the base of the plastic like that, and slowly unthread. When you've got it loose enough, you can go by hand. You can put your hand inside, feel towards the switch at the back. You can hold the switch with your one hand and then loosen the plastic boot with your right hand. Okay, so that's what the switch looks like, and if there hasn't been water in, then you won't see any staining here. There should be no rust marks or anything like that. So if it's clean there, you can be pretty sure that this hasn't got a hole in it. If the switch gets water, it's typically because, or generally because, folks use their nail when they activate the boot or activate the switch. They use their nail to push it backward or forward and make a small slit, and then water enters, runs down into the rocker below, and that then damages the contacts. All right, so once you've got it off like that, then it's a matter of pushing this down. It is also silicone in from the bottom. You push it into the boat, and then you'll pull it out through the aperture here. You'll unplug the leads, and there's the switch out. And you can see clearly on this one, a small amount here. I don't know where that's from, but okay, small amount of moisture in here. It hasn't got down, it hasn't come from here. Maybe moisture in the boat. It's an old boat that's attacked this metal, but certainly in terms of the rocker and of the pillar, there's no corrosion there. All right, no matter, we're going to now replace the switch. Okay, so now I'm going to use a little deburring tool just to remove the excess silicone that's dried and not attached to the boat from the inside there, like so. Right. Okay, on the switch that was not damaged, but that was not faulty, I've just taken the opportunity to use a wire brush and remove the bits of corrosion on the plate. And now I'm going to refit this. Okay, begin as follows. You basically fill the bottom here with silicone. All right, now before you fit the switch, make certain that backward is the on position. So use your multimeter if your switch doesn't come with a plate to show you which is on and off, but use your multimeter because you want the switch to be on when moved backwards. The idea being that if the boat's moving forward and something had to brush over the boat and it were to touch the switch, then you don't want it to put the boat off. So backwards is very definitely on. You fill it with silicone like that, and then make your way again through the opening in the boat and reach in until you get the switch through the hole, just like so. that. Now, okay, there was something else I wanted to mention, and that was, while I've got this held like that, you do need to clean up the little ridge that you may find on the boat here, any huge bump, so that everything seats correctly again. Just take off the excess with a rounded tool that won't scratch the boat. Doesn't have to be all gone as long as you've got the big lumps off. Okay, then you're going to screw the boot down again. Okay, so just before putting the boot on, put some silicone around the thread again, right around the bottom, not in the center, not on the pillar at all, just like that. And then screw this, make sure you've got it taking thread correctly, and then tighten it all the way down. Okay. All right, so when you've got it partway tight like that, then use a cloth and wipe away all the excess silicone. You have to do more than this just now. You have to use a solvent as well, but just for now, so that you can actually get it tight, remove all the excess that you can with a clean cloth, like so. Now make sure that your switch is moving in a straight line. If it's skewed, you can rotate it underneath. You can move the switch slightly to get it to move so it runs in the straight line. And then once again, you're going to use the same gas pump plier, but you're not going to over tighten this, and you're not going to grip it too hard, but you are going to just nip it and pull it up until it's solidly bound to the boat, so to speak. Don't do damage. When it won't go anymore, it's done. Now it's twisted a little bit. I can turn it back from the inside. I'm happy. Right, so once more, I'm clean. This time I'm going to use a little bit of acetone. Acetone is a solvent to remove all the excess silicone, otherwise the next step won't work. All over and all around the switch. Must be completely free of silicone. There we go. All right, so back to the guard. Now we have to remove what was there, the old silicone and glue. Basically pull that all out like so. How far did you get? Okay, and now with the blade, clean up the inside, get rid of all the residue of the old epoxy. Okay, then once you've got it pretty much cleaned, you can take some sandpaper, 100 grit sandpaper, and just run it around on the inside as well. That will help. Right, so it's pretty much clear, no lumps and bumps. And then you'll see it's got the hole drilled in, the drain hole, which goes at it's closer to one side than the other. And obviously you want that at the back, so that's where it'll drain out of. When you fill this, you won't fill it higher than the drain hole, so water falling in here will come out the back. And the other very important thing is that when you put the epoxy on now, that you don't go onto this pillar in there, you don't go in that groove there, because then the switch will not work anymore. That switch works on that piece of the boot being flexible and being able to move. So you want to bring this on up to there, but not onto that pillar, right up to that lip, all the way around. Right, so this is the most important step. As I said, like that, you would imagine that it shouldn't leak. It does. So you have to finish it with the epoxy. What we use is this Pratley clear set glue, and what we then do is we put a small dab of black pigment to make it black. I know that in the US you get an adhesive or cement called ABS black cement. Will probably do the same job. But for the moment, we'll use the Pratley, show you how we mix it, how much I place, and then how I place this on and clean up the excess. All right, so now we're going to take just a dab of this black pigment and mix it in there, just like so. Interestingly enough, it gives the Pratley a slightly different quality in that it becomes a little more rubbery than it would normally be. But it works fine for us, and when it gets hard enough. Right, so mix it up well. As I say, either this or black ABS cement. Right, and now basically apply it. Oops, there we go. Right, apply it all on the switch, all around the base of the switch like that. Right up to the first ring on the boot, but not onto the pillar itself. Right, and then you can apply more along the outer edge, not in the center, but on the edge itself. Try to keep it up because you want it up in the guard itself. Doesn't matter if you put extra on the outside because it's going to disappear. Just now I'll explain to you how. Right, then orientating, so the holes at the back and the hole close to the bottom. Basically slip that down, let it find its own way over the epoxy, and that's basically it. And what you do is you hold it there like that, a couple of minutes, should be fine. What you can do is put some tape on. Okay, so what you can do is you can put a piece of tape over it like so. If you don't want to stand and hold it, oops, don't let it go down, just lift it off the front now. It's not sticking to this back. It's very humid at the moment, so masking tape not sticking very well, but okay, just a couple of minutes like that. And you allow it to harden, not completely, but enough that the epoxy can be moved with a screwdriver. So what you can do is you can just touch it and see. No, it's still very soft. You wait for it to become pretty much solid, and then you can just beat it off with a screwdriver. Probably helpful if you put your fingers on there and just keep the boot pressed down as hard as possible. Okay, now we can remove these straps. It takes a couple of minutes with the Pratley, and it probably takes a little longer because of the pigment. But okay, keeping your hand on top, you basically just get your screwdriver underneath there. But do keep the guard in place by pressing down so when it comes away cleanly like that. Okay, so you can see it's fairly firm. It's quite dry before I try and remove it, so I can get it off like that. This little bit here seems to have been a little bit more tacky, but no worries. All right, clean that off, and then again back to our trusty acetone. A little spot of acetone, clean off the last bit. That's it, and if you look through here, you'll see that the drain hole ends above the epoxy. The switch moves perfectly well, and that's how you replace the switch. Now, importantly, acetone, you can use acetone to clean fiberglass. It won't come up shiny. You have to put some polish to put back the sheen, but you don't want to use this on certain plastics. It will work on the antenna bases. This is made of acetal, likewise the stoppers. But certain, for example, that cover there, you wouldn't use it. That's made of another kind of plastic that will melt. So yeah, you can use acetone to clean most of the boat, but not the clear plastic underneath and not the covers. That's it, and that you've replaced your switch effectively, and obviously now you reconnect on the inside. The bullet connectors are male and female, so they can in fact go anywhere around, but they will connect the right way. I hope that was helpful. Good.